Hello, welcome to Local Edition. I'm Leslie Leighton. Well, it's rare that politicians would even want to identify themselves as weak or powerless, but our next guest doesn't mind talking about it in terms of how decisions get made. Sometimes those bills get passed without ever having even been read. Curt Hagman, Assemblyman, here to talk about that.
Great to be here, Leslie. Thank you.
Thank you very much for being here. We're talking about a lot of bills, hundreds of bills, awaiting approval or disapproval and headlong into the end of the year. How do you ever read all of these bills and get to the bottom of them so that you can make an educated decision?
Well, a normal process is that we all sit on different committees, and when a bill is introduced, and we have maybe 10 or 15 on a day, that we can read those bills. And we also have very qualified staff that make summaries of it, the cheat sheet, so to speak, of what the bill actually does, and you can inquire one way or the other. That's the normal process, and it goes through a couple of committees, and then everyone sees that bill on the floor. So if I'm not on a certain committee, I may not see that full bill till it comes to the floor, but I know my colleagues have gone through it. I can look at their votes. I'll have my staff look through it the day before. It's the normal process, not too bad. It's when we get to the special process, and when the minority party basically is out. And I think I remember, way back when healthcare, Obamacare was passed, Nancy Pelosi saying, well, we'll learn what's in the healthcare bill after we pass it. Those are the type of things I think we do a disservice to the public if we don't know exactly what we're voting on.
And there's been legislation in the past that said that legislators should be able to have these bills in their hands a day, 2, 3 days ahead of time so that they can be completely aware of what's in them, and they've gone down every time.
Every time the majority party pushes that away, because I think it's a useful tool for them to get their agenda done. But it's not just for me to be able to read it and my fellow colleagues who have to vote on it. How about the public? We passed that we're going to be an open book, sunshine state. We're going to let everyone look at what we do. And then we, in the middle of the night, literally in the middle of the night, we'll gut and amend different bills, put new language in there. We show up at 9 o'clock the next morning and they say vote on it.
Give us a couple examples of bills that you may have signed thinking, okay, this is good stuff in here, only to find that there's a little nugget of something you would have completely objected to had you known.
Well, first person, I'm pretty careful about that, and being the member of the minority party, we don't have to vote on these things. The speaker's not over us saying vote on this. So I generally don't vote on stuff, but I don't know what's in it. But I know a lot of the members of the majority party have been pressured to vote on bills. The big policy, like last year we had the AB 190, and for those who don't know what that is, that's when the governor said the county jails are now going to take the state prisoners on certain crimes, the non-nons. It's supposed to be for a year or two type of sentencing, but we're seeing people being sentenced to 14 and 16 years. It was 700 pages thick, literally hot off the press, put it on our desk and say vote on it. And we screamed and yelled and said don't vote on it, and it still got out and passed and signed into law. And it has major effect. Our crime rates are going up throughout the different cities. The jails have no place to put these bodies. That's a type of piece of legislation that should be completely open, have lots of public input, lots of people looking at different sides and try and make it better. And we see that a lot in budget. Literally the budget bills go from house to house as empty vehicles. Unless the Republicans vote no on it because there's nothing in them, all the Democrats vote yes, even though there's not a single word in the thing. It goes to the committees, it gets passed on both sides of the House, and right before the budget's negotiated between the governor and the two leaders of the Democrats, then they put the language in, brought it to us and say vote on it, and it's out.
And sometimes anyone who's ever debated a contract, the legality of something in court, knows it can come down to one clause, a couple words that can change everything.
Correct, and you may know the intent of the bill, and a lot of times we have to come back and do fix-up language on bill that, that was a problem, we didn't know that was in there. But that's the point. The point is if we had at least a 72-hour rule, the public could look at it, we can look at it, we can study it, all our teams, the staff can go through every word of it, and if there is some problems, we can fix it before it goes out.
Just a little something people should know about. All right, thank you very much, Curt Hagman.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you for joining us for this local edition. I'm Leslie Leighton.